Yes, Spanos Antics fans, welcome to this series. We are looking at 8 HP swaps. And for us, we are 8 HP swapping into our Volvo estate. If you've not subscribed to the channel, this car is a V8 3UZ supercharged Volvo estate, stock on the inside, modified everywhere else. But she's been running a 6-speed J160 manual for its life, and that went kaboom! And made some horrendous noises, and I have got a spare one, but you know, while we're there, I thought it was time for an upgrade. So I've been collecting bits for a little while, and this is an opportunity to show you what is needed for your 8 HP swap. We're just going to do a quick brief discussion over all the parts needed and the options you have. So, you're looking to do an 8 HP swap, what do you need? Well, let's start at the beginning, which is the gearbox. This here is an 8 HP 70 from a BMW. There are a few different versions to be aware of, and I will briefly run through them. First of all, there are different torque ratings. There's an 8 HP 45, an 8 HP 50, an 8 HP 75, an 8 HP 90. I think there might be a 95. But realistically, what you're going to find on the market today is 8 HP 45s and 8 HP 70s in the UK. There's also 2- and 4-wheel drive. Now obviously we're running a 2-wheel drive. The 2-wheel drives are harder to find and a bit more expensive. There are companies now making 4-wheel drive gearbox conversions for the back to 2-wheel, but those are also expensive. So ideally you want to find a 2-wheel drive version. Now another variety of them is they come with different bell housings depending on what manufacturer or vehicle it came out of. Again, in the UK, well, we mostly see BMWs or Jaguars. The difference is the BMW bell housing is much smaller and therefore more sought after, again, than the Jag one, which is a much larger bell housing. And we are tight on space, so BMW for us. If you're in America, they also came in Dodges. I believe Dodge Charge, Hellcats, and Scat Packs, and a couple of other versions. You'd have to check that out stateside, guys. I know you also do get some BMW ones, but I think they're a little bit harder for you guys to get. So that's the gearbox, and that's the one we've got. BMW, 8 HP, 70, job done. Moving on. We want to attach this to our engine. It ain't going to bolt up, so what we need is an adapter plate. And here is ours. All the way from Poland. It's a 2-piece adapter ring. Starts off with a flywheel adapter. This bolts to the actual back of the crank, and this is what our torque converter will bolt to. And then the adapter ring, and this converts BMW to Toyota 3UZ. Love. Beautiful bit of kit, and not too badly priced. Comes with all the nuts and bolts. All the links to all the items on here will be in the description below, so you can check them out yourself. So that's that. Now the gearbox needs something to hang on. It can't just hang off the back. So what do we have? A rear gearbox mount. Now there are some very nice sexy ones you can buy on the Tinterweb, but man, they are expensive. And I don't know about you, but I'm on a budget, so pretty much making everything myself. This is my one. I haven't painted it, I've done anything sexy with it yet. Pretty much bolts to the back of the gearbox. Boom, there we go. Again, depending on your chassis, it totally varies. This is my gearbox cross member, and I'm put these little rubber dongies on there, and that is how I'm getting round my rear gearbox mount. Again, yours may be different. 40. You got a Volvo 240, those are banging. Moving on from there, we then need to get from the back of the gearbox to your rear axle. This bit tricky. For me, I bought a BMW driveshaft. I chopped the end off it. We machined down one end of it, Leroy tigged it up, spang, bang, bang, back together. I don't know how long this is going to last. I think these UJs are going to explode. I think it was fine with the manual. Problem with the 8 HP, it's putting out twice the torque with the torque multiplier than the manual. So if this thing's putting out 500 Newton meters, it's going to be putting out nearly 1,000 through this thing. So we'll see how that gets on. Anyway, moving on. So we've got it all bolted in. Next thing, we need to keep it cool. I don't have all the bits for this, but the side of I'll bring this here, has these 2 oil lines. I have got some AN fittings, and I'm going to be tapping that into the side of the case to AN. I'm actually going to be going backwards. Again, there's a lot of aftermarket gubbins that bolt in that go forwards if you're that way inclined. So again, they're stupidly expensive. I'm on a budget, so I'm working round. I shall be tapping the aluminium and tapping them in. AN's off. I'll be then running to a remote cooler, which will be mounted above the axle, fan assisted. Job done. That's what I'm doing with that. So at this point, you've got your 8 HP. She's bolted to the engine. She's got a gearbox mount. She's attached to the rear drive shaft. Now we need to look after it. We need to manage it. This thing is computer driven. It is not a Slushmatic. There's all kinds of wizardry going on there. And this is the wizard control box. This is Turbo Lamix TCU. Really commonly used. They seem to be the market leader right now. I'm sure more companies will be popping up soon. But this seems to be the one that does the things I want to do. To make this work, number one, we need to open up the gearbox, pull this sump off. There's some gubbins to take out and some soldering to do so that we can plug in our turbolamic plug, which plugs into that port there, which then plugs into the TCU. Then this is ready to be programmed. There is going to be a bit of setup on this to come on a later video. But this TCU does amazing things, basically. It will give us 8 settings controlled by a small knob, from lazy Miss Daisy auto to full sequential sending awesomeness and everything in between, as well as bump, which is well handy for drag racing, torque converter stall, blips, cuts. Oh man, it does all kinds of good stuff. There's a lot more to go into that, but today is not the day for that. We're just talking over the gear. Next up, we've got our thingy. We're managing the gearbox, but we need a way to interface with that. Now you can just do it with little switches. The BMW original gear shifter, which you can go between the different settings. You know, it's good, it's cheap, it's not very sexy. Not for what we're doing. We've got a classic old Volvo, we can't be putting that in there. So the guys at DCT hooked me up with this bad boy shifter, all the way from Sweden, handmade, CNC. Oh man, it's a thing of beauty. And it feels amazing. So you can use it like a sequential shifter, or you can just use it basically as a selector. We've got our little gauge there. They'll show us what gear or setting we're in to go between park and neutral, and then we can toggle through whether it's in manual, you know, if we're manually or you know, oh man, the options are pretty endless. So yeah, that is going to be the shifter for the car. I am actually going to cover it with a rubber boot, and I put my own gear knob on, which is the original Volvo one. So actually you won't see any of this beautifulness, which is a slight shame, but where it's got to be. I'm keeping it as stock looking as possible. So there we go. They are all the parts you will need for your 8 HP swap. Any questions? Sling them in the comments. If you don't follow the channel yet, please like, subscribe, do some comment, chat. Go back and have a look at the build on this thing. It's pretty sick. And this year I think she's going to be doing even better. Last year we got her into the 11s. This year we want to get her in the 10s. That's the plan, Batman, but we're hoping this bad boy is going to get us there. Fingers crossed. If you're doing an 8 HP swap, hopefully this helped you. Why don't you like it, subscribe it, do some chat, and follow us on this 8 HP journey and see whether this little bad boy can get me in the 10s. I hope so. Take it easy.